the IT vertical space above storage and do exactly what we would have looked the defense to do during the plant, which is take out the planter or at least get the kill off the back of the crossman.
For this attacking team, 55 seconds left, and it's all on the shoulders of Badham.
Had the intel, but no. Badger grabbing away. Another. The pokey.
Pokeball. Hydra says, I choose you, Joker.
Kiss my ash. You got 0 cents. Your IQ is low.
Did you make that up right now?
Yeah, right now on the spot.
I just want to touch on mental health. If you're feeling out of it,
They put together a hell of a club sandwich. Sledge must have been the bacon because he got fried.
A whiskey! What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. I am the Reverend WhiskeyGlitter, a play-by-play caster for Tom Clancy's competitive Rainbow Six Siege. And today, we're going to get some answers at the bottom here. My journey into esports casting has been honestly amazing, right? We've come from doing some of the smallest leagues in North America to having some international success, and most recently getting to do Element 3 on the main Rainbow Six North America channel. So it's gone all the way from the bottom to, I don't know, it's open possibilities on where we can go next. It's just been truly amazing. My first experience, and this VOD is out there somewhere, was honestly, to us, amazing, right? I do the SiegeDoubleShot casting with Whiskey Run. That's where most of our casts come from. And to kind of watch the journey go back and forth and grow has been crazy. But our first cast ever was actually because we wanted to, Whiskey Run's son plays competitive Siege, and that nobody was streaming it. So we wanted to watch it, and that's how they told us that we could do it, was we had to cast it. And we'd never done anything like that before, and Whiskey Run said, well, you can talk nonstop without breathing, and, you know, I can throw some stuff in there. So we tried it, and honestly, it was terrible. We were very terrible at it, but didn't know any of the call outs, didn't know strats, just were talking for the sake of talking so we could watch his son play. What do I enjoy most? You know, that one's a little bit tougher because there's a couple things that I just really love. For one, it's my favorite game, right? The being able to outsmart your opponent out of not just rely on your heavy gun skill is great. So I love watching the game, and I love seeing the little nuances and the strats and stuff. But probably like my favorite part is, you know, giving a voice to some the up and comers, right? We do a lot of T4, T3, you know, people just at their beginning of Siege, and it's cool to be able to showcase some of that. And we've seen some of those players rise to the top of T2, some of those that we cast in the very beginning of our journey. So my favorite part, man, I love the game. I love the interaction with the chat. I think the best part is showcasing some people that might not necessarily have a voice in other ways. How do I prepare for a casting session? Well, one of the great things about the SiegeDoubleShot is that my partner and co-caster is an absolute genius. So he takes care a lot of the production side of it, setting up the stream, and like getting all the technical aspects done. So really just leaves me to be the pretty face. I like to build the story, and being at the T4 and T3 area leagues and casting several hundred maps in there, we know a lot of these players and got to watch them come up from the beginning. So we've seen their roster changes. We know what kind of frag potential that they have or lack. And so what I do is I build up my sheet, right? I open it up with getting all of my round set up, all the potential rounds that could be set up, so we can do round win determination. If it was a clutch at the end, was there a plant? And then the rest of it, honestly, is just talking to the players and getting a feel for how we're feeling they're going to do that evening, because so much can change. My biggest part when getting ready for a cast is setting up the story. So I like to talk and get that part. A memorable moment. Yeah, there's really just so many of them. I could talk about us doing a cast live from Atlanta for the last major, where we had Whiskey Run's daughter on production running it back home, or casting NJR in the Outlast Classic. But probably currently at this moment, my favorite moment that I've had so far was being able to be featured on the Rainbow Six North American channel for Element 3 and getting to cast Wild Card taking on Aerial Rise, which was just this back and forth barn burner. Aerial Rise, the top of T2, taking on an NAL team, trying to fight and show that they deserve to be in this. It was all the way to the decider map. It was a back and forth banger. And to this day, couldn't believe some of the names that I was saying out loud as the trades were happening with, a couple hundred people watching you. By far, one of the highlights of my entire casting career. Challenges. Oh man, that is a tough one. Casting is not easy by any means, but some of the things that when you're getting into casting, it helps to have somebody that's better than you to tell you some of the things you're doing wrong. The biggest challenge that we had when we started out is we didn't even know what we didn't know about casting yet. So the way that we handled some, call outs, maybe less than professional, crutch words that you use a lot, getting somebody that can point some of that stuff out to you that has been there in the scene and done that could really, really make the difference. So challenges, man, we were a bit of jokers when we got started in this, and we still like to have a ton of fun when we're casting, but taking it on to that professional level to do esports casting definitely was a huge challenge. So just shout out Happy for giving us some of that feedback. Happy and Element 3 for giving us the feedback to help us grow into that. I guess learning the things that you don't know is probably the biggest challenge that I had faced in casting. Who do I look up to? Well, I have a general love for, the talent of esports, but probably my most treasured that I look up to is Fast Ann. She's just a wholesome talent that really knows her stuff and took a chance on kind of helping out a lowly T4 caster from another country, giving me a lot of advice on how to grow myself as a caster, and then put me up for an event that, not everybody gets the chance to do. She recommended me to be the host for the ESA Cup, which I've now got to do 2 years in a row. So the drive, the dedication, and just the knowledge of Rainbow Six Siege, Fast Ann has been somebody that I have looked up to since I got into the scene. I did start in Siege, but I have been casting things my whole life. What did it do, though? It opened up the opportunity for a ton of more casting, right? I'm getting asked about some Rocket League leagues that are going on. There's a competitive Tetris that I'm potentially trying to be involved with, but one of the cooler ones that's going on right now is EPS, and that is a best-of-3 series that starts with a map of CS, or a map of R6, then a map of Valorant, and then a map of CS for the decider on thing. And I think that might be one of the directions that I'm headed into, really trying to just branch out to what can be cast and try to get involved with those. One piece of advice I would give, it's a two-pronged thing here, right? I would actually, if you said, what's one thing I could have, I'm going to give you two because these are both equally important. The first one is just do it. Get your first cast done, jump in, get over the fear, and actually jump in and just get your cast done. The second thing that I would say off the back of that, once you've made the jump, is find somebody that has been in it for a long time and doing it at the level that you want to cast at, and ask them to watch your cast and give you some advice on how to grow, because you're not going to even know what it is that you don't know yet. So get somebody that can watch it and give you a VOD review that their opinion actually matters, right? Somebody that's in the field doing it, and jump off, take the step, do it, just push forward and get over your fear and just go get it, man. Well, for me specifically, handling pressure for the live stuff is a little bit easier as I play music for a living, used to being on the stage. But I still get, the butterflies on my stomach and stuff. Really, it's kind of all the things that you do like before going to take a test at school. Make sure that you got a good night's sleep, make sure that you are eating properly and that you're well versed on the match that's coming up. And all that's going to do to help get that stress down a little bit. And it doesn't hurt to have somebody in your corner like Whiskey Run for me telling me, hey, buddy, you got this. I think my favorite event is I think I said it a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go back to the Element cast with Wildcard versus Aerial Rise. It was probably just a defining moment for me as far as like the caliber of player that we're watching, the amount of people that are watching this cast, and just the fun back and forth that I had with the caster Irish at the time. It was like there were several moments where I would look over and see that I'm on the Rainbow Six North American channel, and it was just surreal, right? It was not something that I had ever even thought of being a possibility when I started casting, because like I said, we started just to watch Siege. We just wanted to watch more of it. So getting the handshake, for casting T2 and then getting such a historical match on top of it definitely was like one of the pinnacles of my casting career so far. Hobbies and passions. Well, the whole reason that I'm the outgoing guy that I am is I play music for a living outside of casting, and it's probably one of my favorite things to do, being in front of a crowd, singing my story. I'm the lead singer for a band called Mary River. That's Mary River. And we're on a couple of different platforms. We've got an album coming out, but legitimately, probably one of the best parts of my last couple of years, selling out a show and just putting on a performance on the stage. And honestly, that's where my name actually came from, WhiskeyGlitter. I used to go by the handle of Rilbo Taggins, which whatever, I don't even know where that even came from, but changed it to WhiskeyGlitter because that's one of the names of the songs that I have on Spotify or iTunes or wherever. And it was all kind of just to promote my music and singing about how tough life can be and maybe how you can potentially make it through this thing. How do I see it evolving? Well, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm at the ground floor of like the second stage of casting being built up, right? You're seeing all of these new people into the fold, and the way that you're able to tell the story just evolving, even here on some of the lowest levels, right? T4, seeing some of those just incredible names starting to pop up. I think that we're getting incredibly inclusive, and we're getting a ton more talent coming through the mix. How's it evolving? Man, I think it's getting better. One thing that people don't know, but I wish they did, the behind the scenes caster stuff. A lot of people think that casters have a lot more say in how a match is going, when in fact, we're mostly just the storytellers, right? So sometimes people can put pressure onto casters for a decision that was made by administration, doesn't generally involve them. Most casters, at least at our level, are not paid. This is passion project. We're here because we love Siege. And so, it can be tough behind the scenes for a caster, especially if something is not well received, on the administration side of a game. So just be nice to your casters. They're doing it because they love you. They're doing it because they love Siege. They do it because they love talking about Siege. And most of the time, it's passion work. And so I guess with all that being said, I just want to say I love the game of Rainbow Six Siege. I love being a caster. I love being in the community. I love hanging out with you guys, talking about Siege. And if you want some more of it, there's lots of places that you can find me at. If you want to talk about it, I'm on Twitter at Glitter Whiskey. Love your hot takes, love your cold takes, send me your clips, whatever it is. I just want to talk Siege. If you want to watch some casting from us, we have the SiegeDoubleShot channel on Twitch, where we cast in hundreds of leagues, showcasing everywhere from T4 to T2 for the game Rainbow Six Siege. And of course, I also have my personal Twitch, which is WhiskeyGlitter Official, where we do some variety streamings, a little bit outside of Siege as well, do some Siege rank play and some ghost hunting games, or really anything that you guys are wanting to watch. And of course, it's where my music comes from. And speaking of music, you can check out my band Mary River, that's Mary River, on all major streaming platforms, with an album coming out, I believe, here in August, kind of showcasing some of my story, what I got going on. Anyways, it has been an absolute blast, but alas, we have come to the dreaded part of the evening where I must bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Ayo.